Females have two uterine tubes, one on the right and one on the left, and they are actual hollow tubes. What they do is convey the ovulated oocyte from the ovary through the hollow lumen of the uterine tube into the uterus. On one side of this model, I left the broad ligament intact, just so you could see the connective tissue support of the uterine tube. Let's take a look at the regions of the uterine tube. This is the ovary, and the part of the uterine tube that contacts the ovary is known as fimbriae. The opening of the uterine tube is called the infundibulum. And so the fimbriae extend from the infundibulum. Even though they look like they attach to the ovary, they actually just contact the ovary without adhering to the ovary. What they do is they sweep across the surface of the ovary, trying to capture the ovulated oocyte and move it into the infundibulum. Here you can see the infundibulum, the hollow funnel-shaped region. This region has a structure that reminds me of a lampshade, where the fringe are the fimbriae and the actual lampshade is the infundibulum. And we can also see the majority of the uterine tube, that the distal end of it, this is what's known as the ampulla. Notice how it's wider in that region compared to if we look at the attachment to the uterus. Notice how the fallopian tube is getting narrower as it approaches the uterus. This narrow region is known as the isthmus. The uterine tube has 3 layers of tissue. The hollow lumen of the uterine tube is lined with ciliated columnar epithelial tissue. The action of the cilia help to move the oocyte. Contains smooth muscle in the muscular wall, and peristaltic waves also help to move the oocyte down the fallopian tube. And then the outside of the fallopian tube is basically just an extension of the broad ligament. It's a connective tissue coat.